Yo, what is happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chart Request Live, right here on Stock Market TV with your boys, Sam Gatlin and Dan. What is going on, Dan? I hope you had a good Easter weekend, and I hope everybody here also had a lovely Easter weekend. I spent mine, drinking beer and playing wiffle ball. So, as productive as a holiday can be on this side of things. But what about you, Dan? What happened?
No, it's great. Yeah, got together with the family, spent some time, relaxing and whatnot. A little recharge with a 3 day long weekend. So it was good. It was good. Weather's warming up north of the
Yes.
border, so that's always good too.
Good deal. Yes. Good weather here in Kansas as well. I think it was like a perfect 70 degrees and sunny on Easter Sunday. So that was really nice. So Dan, a lot of people are talking about the SpaceX IPO. It's scheduled to come out here in the coming weeks to months. But I think it's
Yeah.
a bigger story than just SpaceX. It's an entire theme that we are seeing in the markets right now is these space stocks virtually across the board are working tremendously well. I think the best ETF in this space is the space ETF, the UFO is the ticker. I prefer
Yep.
this over the ARC ETF, the ARC X. But man, we were talking before we went on live here for Chart Request Live, there are some really nice setups under the surface. I don't know if we need to get into the individual setups, maybe keep that for premium members at Stock Market Media. But, just in general, space looks fantastic, right?
Yeah, no, it does. And here you have like the UFO ETF. Beautiful uptrend. Already broke out of its base. And this is a space that you want to be looking in. With the broader market being under pressure over the last month or two, and seeing an ETF and a universe of stocks acting this way, this is where you want to be looking and keep those names on your radar for when pressure comes off, subsides. Chances are these are going to be the stocks that go up.
100%. It's that beach ball effect that we talk about all the time around here.
That's right.
In times of stress in the market, you want to be looking for pockets of relative strength, like space has been, and like biotechnology has been. Biotech still
That's
kind of
right.
in a range in absolute terms, but in relative terms, it's making new highs. This is the relative strength, and there's nothing defensive about these stocks whatsoever, Dan. These are not cigarettes, booze, toilet paper. These are, in a lot of instances, completely profitless, completely revenueless, speculative technology stocks.
That's right. And as you can see here, like XBI relative to the S&P, working on this reversal right here out of this base. Um, it's right there. It's right there on a relative basis. So if this goes, I would expect biotech, as you can see, it's already broken out of a reversal pattern here to continue out of this consolidation pattern to the upside. And we keep going higher, maybe all the way back to these 2021 highs. So another great pond to be fishing in. I like a lot of biotech setups.
Totally, me too.
But
I was going through the biotech charts this weekend, and I was just blown away by how many great setups there are in the biotech space. There are hundreds of biotechnology stocks, so pretty
yeah,
much at any time you can find a few that look good. But man, right now it's more than just a few. There are dozens.
yeah, there's quite a bit. Yeah.
Totally, yeah. We have Dan in the chat asking if DXYZ is a good way to get exposure to space. It's a good question. Just at first glance, the chart doesn't look great. I don't know if you remember this, Dan, but everybody was talking about this back in 2024. Um, it had quite
I'll
the
be
move
honest,
there in a
I've
short amount of time.
never looked at this,
Yeah.
but
I remember Spencer was involved. That was one of his
okay, yeah.
best trades at the time.
I mean, if you drop a couple
Looks
anchored
like
VWAP,
SpaceX is 16%. Then you have Shield AI at 4.1%. Databricks at 4%. Beast Industries at 3.5%. I don't know many
Yeah,
of
and
them.
I must say, like, I don't hate this pattern where
Yeah.
it's just tightening, consolidating. This would be your level, I would say. All-time high VWAP, the pivot high from December 24, above like call it 37 and a half, 38. Yeah, this could be an explosive move out of this over a year long pattern. Um,
It's kind of
and
strange to
yeah,
see here, Dan. It looks like 47% of the fund is in cash or cash equivalents.
oh really? That's
Not
interesting.
exactly what I want in a speculative growth stock ETF.
Right, yeah,
Allocate the
you want to
money,
be
baby.
fully
Let's go.
allocated.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, yeah, this
So,
this would be your level. So,
yeah. Sounds
yeah, I
like
could
the answer
see
is no, Dan. DXYZ is not a great way to get exposure to
not
this.
the best way. If you're picking one for the best way, it is a way, but not the best. But
Totally.
yeah. Anyway, Sam, maybe we should start with the mailbag.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Things
So,
off.
for those of you that are not familiar with this show, this is where you provide the tickers and we bring the charts to the show. We have a mailbag from those that emailed us questions at stockmarketmedia.com. You can send us an email at that same address to get your ticker included in next week's mailbag for us to cover at the top of the show. And then when we are done with this, we will hop on over to the YouTube chat and take some requests from there. So if you are watching this on Twitter, jump on over to the YouTube stream so we can see your comments and chart out your ticker. So first up, Dan, we have Paul requesting the LNG, that is the Cheniere Energy. Says this is nearing my initial target of $297. But I'm wondering, since the energy group has changed in the last several months, is there a secondary target that I should focus on? I have been a long-term holder. I'm thinking I would have at least another 3 to 6 months, depending on your views of that second target. So great question, Paul. Thank you for the extra context as well. That really helps us analyze the
Yeah,
chart.
maybe I'll flip it to a monthly just to see it better here. But dropping the fibs from these highs back in '06, '07. And there you go. You said 297. He had a target, so about 300.
Yeah.
We're running up to it there now.
Man, look at how much the market has respected these fibs, Dan. That
Yeah,
423.6 extension in particular. Man, resistance, resistance. Now it's support, support.
tested support. Yep. And then
Love
now
that.
running up to 300. So, I mean, it really all depends. Above 300, your next target would be up to 486, the 1,109% extension. But yeah, I mean, it's personal call. If you want to take some profits, scale some out. Trade around the position is always an option too, where you scale some out and then look to get back in above 300. I'll do that from time to time. But yeah, 300 is definitely the level where if you want to take profits or get long above that, that's what I would say about it.
Totally. And, looking at the weekly candlestick here, Dan, last week was a pretty textbook dark cloud cover. It's a
Yep.
technical pattern where you have a really strong uptrend and then you have an open above the previous close and then you end up closing near the lower end of the range. So, not quite as bearish as like a bearish engulfing candlestick, but it certainly
Yeah,
has
that's right.
bearish implications most of the time. And, pretty much across the board in the energy sector, you saw these candlesticks last week. The ones from Chevron and Exxon really stood out to me, but it's been a hell of a run, Dan, since that middle of December low. So, for LNG to consolidate here, I think would be perfectly healthy. But, zooming out, there's nothing bearish about the overwhelming amount of demand we've seen recently. It's more so of just more of a short-term problem that you maybe need to work off those extended momentum readings.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, you could see this move right here over the last like what call it three and a bit months. So you had some sellers show up here at the fib, like it's shown us, it's respecting the fibs. So not surprising. And yeah, maybe some sideways action, maybe a little pullback. Totally expected if it
Totally, yeah.
happens.
But with a 3 month, 3 to 6 month time frame, I do like this a lot. I think it's going higher. So
Yep.
good one
Yep.
there, Paul. Thanks for bringing that to the show. Next up, Dan, is David wanting to talk about space. So let's play Would You Rather. Okay, that's fun. In the current market environment, which of these three look the best for a 12-month time frame? Highlighting stop levels and first targets would be awesome. So, Dan, we have Black Sky, BKSY, a great chart there. We also have ONDS,
Hmm.
and we have the Planet Labs.
Okay, so
And then he added some more context about like what these stocks are. So he said the kids really like the ONDS. Planet Labs has ripped, and Black Sky continues with higher highs and higher lows. These aren't quite the same, but they are certainly small cap tech. Yeah. All right. Great context,
yeah, I
David. Thank
mean,
you. I love talking about space. I mean, we started the show talking about space, so let's
yeah,
do
and
it.
all three of these charts are good in their own way. Black sky, this is a reversal pattern. So early on in the primary trend, you get above this, called $30 just to make it round. You're already above the VWAP from the all-time highs, but above 30, primary trend switched. Path of least resistance is higher. But when you're talking about ONDS, this is a little bit different. Let me remove this.
It's already
It's
in a primary uptrend.
already in a primary uptrend, and you're looking at more of a base breakout. So relative, this one's stronger than Black Sky. And then you'd be looking at 14, 15 as the breakout level for this one. If you drop some fibs just to give a target. So 15, 16, target would be 25, the first one there. And then if you look at PL, I think it's the other one, right?
Yeah, Planet Labs. What a beast this one is. This is my
This one's
favorite. I
clearly
mean,
early.
every single time this company reports earnings, Dan, it goes vertical. Let's see. I can tell you the last few earnings reactions right here. Give me just 1 second to punch up the data, but man, it's been, yeah, so you've had four consecutive banger earnings reactions. So a year ago, June of 2025, you had a nearly 50% earnings reaction. That was followed up by a 48% earnings reaction, which was followed by a 35% earnings reaction in December. And then this most recent one near the end of March was 25.5%. So
Yeah, wow.
fundamentals certainly are not a headwind.
Spectacular. And you know what's interesting about this like very vertical uptrend, these pullbacks are still over 30% each one. This is a fast moving stock. It's definitely a leader in the space, as you can see. And then compared to Black Sky and Ondas, already out of the base, on its way to its third target when you fib it out. So um, we know asset prices trend. So this would be my pick to continue the trend. Wouldn't be surprised to see some consolidation at some point. Obviously, with an uptrend so clean like this and so much strength, but then I would think that it will continue. So that would be my pick.
Totally. I'm with you, Dan. Planet Labs is my pick as well. So, David, shout out to you for talking our book here with space stocks. I love it. Thank you for doing that. And if anybody else has a space stock that they like, drop it
Yeah,
in the
throw it
YouTube
out.
chat and we will talk about it in a few minutes here. But next up, Dan, we have one from Nicholas wanting to look at LWLG. This is the Lightwave Logic, a $1.2 billion specialty chemical stock.
Oh, okay. This one's very interesting. A lot of chop for a very long time until recently, it looks like. Let's see if we fib out this base.
Just look at how this one went vertical in the last cycle. Holy cow. It's been a hell of a
This is
move
great.
off the 2025 lows, but based on prior bull markets for this stock, I think it could go a lot longer, Dan. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what all this was back
Yeah,
throughout
that
all
was
that
quite the
time.
mess.
But now it looks like it's starting to shape up, get some structure to it, back above the VWAP from those highs of the prior cycle. So that's constructive. And now it looks like you're trying to reclaim the 38.2 retracement around eight and a quarter, 830. So this one's good. I like it. Nice bearish to bullish reversal pattern shaping up. You can definitely get long above this level. First target's 13, and then you want to probably see it back at those all-time highs around 20, 20 and a half there. So it's a good chart. Good chart. What's the beta on this?
Probably high.
I would think so.
Let's see. I think I
Two.
have it here. It
Two
looks
is what
like
I'm seeing.
I'm seeing 2.8.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Even more juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. So careful with this one for sure.
Yeah,
But
these chemical stocks are wild. No doubt
yeah.
about it. They can really move. All right, last one here in the mailbag, Dan, is TSEM for a 3-month time frame.
Okay.
So this is Tower Semiconductor TSEM, and this is an Israeli semiconductor stock with a $21 billion market cap.
Very nice chart. Very nice chart. Huge base here. Fibbing it out from the
A ton
open.
of relative strength versus the semiconductors as well. I mean, I'm looking at
Yep.
the stock relative to SMH, and it's pushing the upper bound of a massive base here. That goes back to late 2022. So very
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah, that level to get long was around 160. In my opinion, we're kind of in the middle here now, between these two fibs. And for a 3-month time frame, I would say probably wait for some sort of consolidation to get in, or maybe if you get a little pullback, drop a VWAP and get in back above there on strength. It looks like it already got a retest here, so you might not get that again. Um, but yeah, you're a little bit far from where you can manage risk, in my opinion. So I would probably wait for a consolidation of some sort. What do you think, Sam?
I'm with you there. Yeah, not a great entry point right here. But you know what is, Dan? Hansen. So Hansen brought this request to us to see the Tower Semiconductor, and they also mentioned the STM. This has been one of my favorite looking charts in the semiconductor space for quite some time now. And this is also on the smaller side of things in the semiconductor space. This one is $31.5 billion in market capitalization, and it looks like it's
Yeah.
headquartered in Switzerland.
Yeah,
How
another
many
great.
Swiss-based semiconductors can you name, Dan?
Not many. And you also got a nice volume pocket right here that we're pretty much just entering right now above 35 and a quarter. $5 about. So nothing crazy, but beautiful base shaping up here. And if we were to fib out from here, let's see if it gives us. So yeah, you can use this shelf to get in. And I would probably trade it at least back to those pivot highs there at 55. Did you have a time frame on this one? Still 3 month. So
Yeah, I assume it's
yeah,
still the 3 month.
no reason to go out further. But yeah, that's how I would do it. Get in on this shelf right here as an entry on trade it to the target of 55. Back to those pivot highs. Great chart, great base.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite semiconductor charts right here. So shout out to you, Hanson. Good eye. Well done. That is all we have from the mailbag, Dan. So let's move on. Give the chat some love. Let's see. Fraley asked if I was stopped out of any energy plays. No, I was not, but we can talk about that more at the top of the hour in the Super Cycle Report members only meeting. So I'm looking forward to that. Hope to see you there, Fraley. And let's see. Jonathan says Trump is speaking shortly. Okay,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
interesting. And Jonathan also asked about the GILD, the Gilead, since
Oh,
we were
okay.
talking about biotechnology earlier. You know, this one had a massive base and it absolutely surged out of it. Now it seems to be doing some backing and filling.
Yep, that's right.
Could get a retest of that breakout level. That would be exactly where I would be looking to buy this one,
Yeah,
but
that would
not
be
sure if you'll get it.
That's right. It would be a fantastic entry if you can get that. But yeah, I mean, right in the middle of these two fibs between the prior highs in 2015 and the 161. Nothing really to do in my opinion here. Let's see if we, the only thing would be you could drop a VWAP from the pivot high here. Still a little bit away, 145. But you can use this as an entry to get long on strength. Not much of a target to go to the 161 from there. But then stay in the trade for the 261 at 230.
Yeah, shout out to the Gilead. This company dominates the HIV drug space, so I like that fundamentally a lot. That's an amazing business they have there. And we've got the one and only Jay Woods in the house, Dan. And it's a real pleasure to have you here with us, Jay. What's up? I miss you. I hope to see you in New York City sometime soon. Jay's asking about solar stocks, asking why they're popping up on his screens, asking for thoughts on SolarEdge and NXT. Says he doesn't want to like them, but risk reward looks favorable. And yeah,
Yeah,
I think SolarEdge is probably my favorite, Dan.
let's
NXT
dive
is
into this.
more like on the, I mean, NXT certainly has been a beast as well, but just this is such a clean primary
Yeah,
trend reversal right here with the SolarEdge.
yeah, it is. And let's see if let's do an anchor view up from here just to get that there. About the drawdown. Okay, so it's a little ways from there. But yeah, you have a shelf right here is where it consolidated a little bit. Maybe you could see it a bit better on the daily.
It's just kind of messy though. Like,
It is a
you could
little bit
also draw
messy.
the line closer to like 50. So, it's just
Yeah,
kind of,
I was actually looking at it around here on this little
yeah.
one. Then you got a little retest here. But yeah, solar stocks have done pretty well recently, considering. Um, and we're still a little bit of ways from the VWAP from those all-time highs of 74. But if you want to get tactical, you have another little shelf right here around 42, call it, where it looks like it may be coming back for a retest. So if it holds up there, I don't mind buying that weakness as you already started to see a little uptrend form here. And then, yeah, trade it to this VWAP as a target. What do you think, Sam?
I've done some fundamental work on this one, Dan.
Okay.
I'm a technician at heart, but sometimes I can't help but look at some of these fundamentals. And, one of the biggest cheat codes I found is just looking at like free cash flow with these super high growth stocks like SolarEdge is. Like SolarEdge is trading with a forward PE of it looks like 460 right now.
Wow.
So, to judge this one based on traditional fundamental metrics is kind of difficult when you have such extreme growth here. Like they're supposed to 35x their EPS over the next year. Insane earnings potential
Wow.
here. And so if you look at the free cash flow over the past trailing 12 months, whenever it flipped positive for the first time, the stock stopped falling back in 2016. And
Okay,
then it
interesting.
flipped negative like in early 2022 when the stock was carving out that top. And
Right.
then it flipped positive in like September of 2025, right when it was completing this new bearish to bullish reversal
Yeah.
pattern. So just following the free cash flow over the past year has kept you on the right side of the primary trend for SolarEdge for years, really since this stock came into existence. So I
Okay, yeah,
love
that's
having that
excellent.
backdrop, having a little bit more conviction in this being a actual reversal pattern.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great point. And then you also want to see NXT, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
this one's more like solar software, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I'm not too sure. You would
Yeah,
probably
let's see what the description is.
better than me.
Yeah, they call it an integrated solar tracker. It,
Okay.
it helps distribute the energy. I don't know the first thing about solar energy or distributing solar energy, but it sounds cool. Next power.
Yeah, yeah, neither do I. But I mean, not much of a drawdown to fib out, but nonetheless, you get like a level around here where it seems like the market's respecting roughly around 110, 112. We're back below there right now. It seemed like we were holding up, failed it, holding up. Looks like it might fail it again. So maybe a little bit more time for this one. And let's just see where this comes in. Way too far away. So yeah, maybe craft a strategy around this 261.8 as an entry to get long, but looks like it might need a little bit more time.
Yeah, this one is kind of messy, Dan. I'm not crazy
Yeah.
about this. I'd much rather buy the Solar Edge than the
Yeah, so
next few.
the solar edge is a little bit cleaner for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, getting hit today though, down about 7.5%. So no bueno there.
And what's the tan? Let's see. I mean, tan is looking great in an uptrend, now consolidating just below the VWAP from those 2021 highs. We'll see. We'll see if we stay sideways and then get that first attempt, or if we have a little corrective wave coming before we try and attempt to break out of that. But yeah, solar's been good.
Totally. Shout out to Jay Woods for stopping by the show too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, next up we have AMTX. This one's coming from Eric. Says it's a renewable fuels and biochemical company as a base breakout play. Yeah, it looks like this one has
Yeah.
$200 million market capitalization. So,
Okay.
little disclaimer there. Tread carefully with this one.
Yeah. So
But it is, this is the kind of environment where you want to be reaching for these, junky chemical stocks. I mean, look at what it's done since bottoming out in early March. I mean, it's gone completely vertical from a buck,
yeah,
a buck 40 to like four or to 350. So
yeah, ripped off those lows,
yeah,
and I mean, this is your shelf right here of that reversal little base there. We flip it to a daily. Can see it a bit better there. Um, 3.5, 360 above there. A move
yeah,
to that
I need to
VWAP is
see it
definitely
prove it,
possible.
Dan. I'm not convinced it's going to break out. I think this one could like get cut in half. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'd like to see this on strength. I wouldn't be jumping an entry below this. I got to see it first.
Totally, yeah. Good one to keep an eye on though, because if you do break out of there, I mean, this one's probably going back to that VWAP you have dropped there at around
Yep, yep,
$7. So could be a hell of a trade, but let it set up first. Don't force anything with this one. And again, it's
that's right.
$200 million in market cap, so
Yeah,
this is prime. This is red meat for the people that are into like pumping and dumping stocks.
that's right.
These day traders. That's a dangerous game, Dan. I try to stay away from situations like that.
Yeah, I have
Anyways,
a line for
I
market cap.
know, right? I prefer to stay above $1 billion. It's
Yeah,
just
me too.
fewer headaches that way.
That's right.
Anyways, let's take a look at FBIN. This one's coming from the Flush. Great name, Flush. FBIN.
Okay.
So this is Fortune Brands, $4.5
Hmm.
billion dollars in market capitalization in the building products and equipment space.
Did they
And
say what their?
this, my friend, looks like
This doesn't look too good.
this looks like a short. This looks terrible.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
Let's
gonna
see the
bet
relative
long
trend, Dan. Give us the relative trend.
against SPY,
Sure.
let's see. Not something you want to be owning.
Wow.
Making
All-time
new
lows.
all-time lows against the S&P 500. And I mean, if you're going to go back to the absolute chart, to go long, you'd be betting on it being not a top. And it worked twice back over here. Will it work again? I'm not too sure. It's a major distribution pattern. Um, this wouldn't be a trade I'd be looking to put on from the long side, but for a short, could be an interesting short.
Yeah, this looks really terrible. And, you know, it just further reiterates the weakness we've seen recently, like in the home builder space. I mean, home builders have not been a place to be. And if you want to be in home builders, you want to be in the strength. You want to be in the leaders, the ones that are not acting like the rest of the group. And this one is
That's
just
right.
doing what everyone else is doing in the home builder space. It's just sucking, flirting with the resolution of a massive distribution pattern. So, no,
Yeah,
this one
exactly.
could hold and rally back to 50, but you know, it's just for me, it's not worth it. This
Yeah,
just looks like a headache.
that's a tough trade. That's a tough trade. You don't want the headache with that kind of a trade. There's easier trades to make. So
Totally. I'm interested in the easy money. You know, the market will tell me when there's just easy money laying there in the corner, and I'll go and pick it up. You know,
that's
I
right.
don't need the
That's right.
headache with the stock like this. Fortune Brands, you can get out of here. Let's move on to Cement Grays. Wanted to look at TIGO. It says it is hitting the target and it has an ex dividend date.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is in the telecommunications space, I believe, right?
Yeah, this one's from Luxembourg. $13.5 billion, making new highs as we speak.
Yeah, and the telcos have been another area of strength.
One of the strongest industry groups in Q1.
Yeah. And so as you can see above this shelf right here, 75, that would be your entry from the long side. And let's see if we can fib some targets from here. Lines up pretty much with that 61.8. First target's 120. Pretty much back to those highs from 2011. This is beyond straight higher. Look at this. What an uptrend.
Yeah, what a move this has been.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And there's just multiple telco stocks that look pretty similar to this if you go around and search in the space. Um,
Totally. And it's really hard to get involved with trends like this, you know?
yeah.
Either you need like some kind of high and tight bull flag, or you can get involved on a base breakout like this and just jam your stop there at that shelf of former highs from 2017 to 2019.
Yep, that's right.
So I like this. Shout out to Cement Grays. You
Yeah,
know,
great
maybe
chart.
the chart of the day right here. I don't know. We've seen some other good ones. I liked the space stocks quite a bit.
Yeah.
Those were good. All right. Dan is asking for FTAI. I think we're giving Dan
FT.
two recommendations today, or two chart requests.
And this one also great uptrend.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, this is I think they like rent out airliner space. Let's see. Oh no, they they rent out jet engines. I mean, what a business that is, Dan.
Oh, wow.
$25 billion in market cap here.
Very interesting. So if you're gonna do it, there's no time frame on this one.
No, there is not.
Okay. So I mean, if you do the long time frame from the COVID highs, you're approaching that 280 that it already ran up to, tried to break out, failed for now. Maybe a little bit more time, but I would say 280 is the entry to get long. Target's 450 there. And let's just see what this shows when you fib it from here. So a little bit shorter term. You're chopping around that 244, 245, and you would have a target towards that 350. So a couple of different ways to do it there.
I like the scoop and score setup the most. You know, trading this one at a shorter time frame. You know, if you get a decisive move back above that former support, could be a nice squeeze higher to 350.
Yeah, this
Who
is what
knows
you're
though?
talking about right here, right?
Yeah, that's where my head is at with a chart like this.
Yep. So Sam's talking tactical here, even if you drop a VWAP, probably comes in right about just above that shelf. But yeah, little scoop and score action right here. You get long.
Totally. Shout out to the FTAI. This is one I've been tracking for a
I
long
like it.
time. It's been a huge winner. over the past few years, really since the 2020 low. And I think that is all we have for today's show. As SM Traz mentioned, I've got to bounce. I've got a show to host with my Super Cycle members. We're going to be talking about the money moves we are making in this commodity super cycle. So I'm really looking forward to that. I look forward to seeing you there, SM Traz. I think there are some other members in the chat here, so I'll see you on the flip side. But Dan, it was a pleasure doing this with you. I really enjoy doing these Chart Request live shows. And we find charts that, we typically aren't looking at, like that $200 million chemical stock. That's wasn't right. One that was on my radar. That was cool to see. So
yeah, no, it's always great hanging out, looking at charts, seeing what everybody else is looking at. Yeah, it's great. It's fun.
For sure. All right, everybody. We will catch you same time, same place for another episode of Chart Request Live right here on Stock Market TV next Monday. I think Monday will be the 13th of next week. So don't miss it. Send us your requests at questions@stockmarketmedia.com. We'll put them in the mailbag for next episode. But until then, everybody stay safe out there and go make some money. Adios.
Later.